Welcome back everybody. Today a quick one. Last time a Patreon told me that he bought a Recurve takedown bow, a Bearpaw, and he does thumb release with it. And said, you need to have a left-hand Recurve to shoot right-hand thumb release. But then he said, no, Bearpaw offers. Look at that. And I didn't even know that because, of course, nobody at Bearpaw feels the need to tell me. What you get is, first of all, a nice sturdy sleeve for dun, dun, dun. Look at this, a twin bow, and the handle, I can tell directly, feels good in both hands. So if you like a Recurve takedown bow, because it has several reasons to do so. Of course, it's not a completely center shot bow because you have a quite narrow shelf here, which is roughly a centimeter, 10 millimeters, 10, 12 millimeters. If you want to shoot right and left hand, or you want to shoot Mediterranean thumb release, this is the way to go when you like a Recurve bow. But of course you can't buy this now as a complete bow, or at least it's not offered, so I had to order the riser, the limbs and the string extra. I mean, that's not rocket science here. You simply, when you get your limbs, you unscrew these long screws and then you check which limb has nothing written on it. As you see, the other one has a writing on it. The one with no writing is the upper one. You put it here and you screw it tight, as easy as you can think. Make it nice and tight, but not don't over tighten it. And the same with the bottom. And I got now, for training purpose, 34-pound limbs. So just fine, 34 pounds. And this is the short riser. They have this one, I think, in the long version too, but I like the short one. Then the bow overall length is 62 inches instead of 66. Which makes it a bit more versatile, and that's why you have on these limbs always 2 poundages. And you see at 66 inches the limbs would be 32 pounds, and when you take the short riser, which is 4 inches shorter, then you have an overall length of 62 inches, and then the draw weight is 34 pounds. That being said, I need my string. So you get nice bags now for it, which raises the value if you use these pouches for transport. Makes sense. And you can throw it in your backpack or whatever, just in case you don't have a dedicated takedown bag. So the longer part comes on the bottom. Somebody said bottom again. And of course, guys, please always, these kind of Recurve bows, use a bow stringer for it, okay? I'm simply too lazy to get in now and get one. And I assume, because I didn't check now anything, I assume the brace height is 8 inches, which is usually the brace height for Bearpaw takedown. It's a little too low, and we need to shoot a few times because these strings always need to set. And then we will later adjust the brace height and put even a knocking point on it. So first of all, how does it look like? Like a normal Recurve. And of course, with this bow you can do now your fancy, this one, how to hold your bow. Doesn't make sense to hold this bow like a horse bow, so you want to change the grip, either right or left, so you have it a little open. But you know that when you shoot this bow, so only the pressure point of your thumb is touching the bow, and the rest is simply gently wrapped around, so you don't hold the bow at all. 28 is nice, 29 is nice. 30 may be doable. I don't know what the max draw length is because I didn't read now anything. So 3 fingers mid. Nice. Thumb release. Ooh, nice. String is a little low, that's why we have it quite loud and quite vibration-y. But does the job. So I shoot now a few times until the string sets properly, and then I set a knocking point and adjust the brace height properly, and then I shoot a few more arrows. As you can see now, after roughly 20 shots, you see how the string set a little bit more. Now my whole nail is pointing above. Before it was like this, so the string gave in. Now I put the knocking point in it. So the brace height is now at 7.5 inches. I put a knocking point on it, and now we go from there. The bow should be now a bit more silent. One other indicator for these Recurve bows is you see the string running on the limb, and where the groove ends, the string should leave the... Oh, it's still loud. Yeah, getting there. Loud. and heavy, but works. Not the best group directly, which I usually shoot, but you get there. And other fancy stuff. I mean, you don't want to use this bow on horseback, but theoretically you could do that and shoot, but you don't want to. And shoot Mediterranean, of course. But the fun thing is, because we have these two arrow shelves, you could shoot left hand now Mediterranean, or you shoot thumb release. Go away, what is itching? Or Persian draw. That's fine, that was without Katra. Let's see what Katra will do. So I don't recommend doing the torque, because these limbs, so the side Katra, because these limbs are very weak. You might harm your bow when you do side Katra. Down Katra, the thing is, the shelf is very wide, and when you don't do it properly, you can still deflect the arrow. It's tricky. Let's see what. Yeah, you get there. It takes a bit. It's not really a bow for thumb release, because this is way too wide, and the chance that even when you do Katra, that you hit the arrow on the back or whatever and deflect the arrow is quite big. Doable, but me. Let's see if I can shoot a reasonable group on 10 meters with 3 fingers. Difference is, as said, it's not a real center shot bow, it shoots still slightly off center. Arrow was fishtailing. Yeah, but you get there. Ooh, no back tension. Aye, bad release, and you see it directly. Not as forgiving as some might think. So let's shoot 6 arrows with thumb release. How accurate we will be with these ones. Loading is a pain. Oh. Yeah, you get there. It takes a little, but it's loud like hell. Oh, that was a bad shot. So these bows, as forgiving as they are, due to their length and their weight, these wiggly limbs here, this one, tricky. As far as I know, there is no recommendation of minimum grain per pound. I read in some forums 6 grain or whatever is fine. They are 320 grain, and this is 34 pounds, so it's 9 grain-ish. Let's see what it does on 20 meters, huh? Oh yeah. Yep, 30. Drops. Yeah, you get there. You get the feeling for it. You get there. Of course, what you should do, what I didn't do now, is put here some leather or felt on it, that the arrow is not sliding directly on the wood. But you know. But look, the fun thing comes when you start. Oh, I didn't shoot left hand Mediterranean for a while. When you want to train both hands. See, it's interesting. Oh, this way I'm not used to load, huh? So, ooh, okay, need to practice more. But you get the point. Let's see. Oh yeah, you get that. But at least you can swap your hands, even with a recurve takedown bow, which is what I wanted to show you in this video. So, question is, could you Slavico? Yeah. It's actually, the flight is quite nice when you shoot Slavic. Pressed. Ostro. shoot in groups with Slavic. And you don't need to tilt the bow that much, but you can shoot upwards and you can tilt the bow, so it's quite a versatile bow. I simply don't like, I think the bracelet came down a little. I simply don't like these takedown bows because they are heavy, cumbersome. They have a nice handle, I have to admit, but of course you hold the bow then differently, like these Olympic ones. When you hold the bow too tight, I'm not sure if this is going to work. That's why Katra and all these things. But overall, if you want a bow, a takedown bow, recurve, where you can change the limbs with, you know, that they are now 34 pounds, you can go, I guess, from 20 to 40 or 50 pounds, I will check. So the bow will grow with you, with your draw weight, or you can put weaker limbs on for technique training, stronger limbs for build up your muscles and whatever. Not bad. They're quite pretty made. I guess they're made in China and Bearpaw sells them, so I guess if you check on AliExpress you will find the same bow for less. So the rest's a simple recurve bow. So it's a working recurve, obviously. Nice limbs. The screws, it's not an ILF. Handle. All good, all fine. And then you see already here the scratch marks of the arrow. So with this bow, when you don't shoot Katra, we really need to have the right spined arrows. And even on this side, you see when I forced Katra, I scratched the arrow here. So when you do side Katra and the arrow is not gone yet, you will give him a slap on the back. That's why these wide shelves, I think for thumb release in general and for doing Katra stuff like this, not really beneficial. When you shoot no Katra thumb release, you should have the right spined arrows, otherwise you run into problems. That's all. The price I didn't check now, but I can write it now here somewhere. You can have it if you like it. It's there from Bearpaw. I put the link in the description. It's the Bearpaw Hero, Twin Hero. It's fine. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.